I thought I was going to have so much time. I was like working that entire time. Number one, cleaning my room. Number two, getting hooped up. Let me grab my fabric. General store, 1 and 2. I don't even know what's what. Oh, I gotta grab my embellishment kit. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Let me see if it's on. I don't know why it's not coming up. Am I set over here? Yeah, we're live. Okay, hang on a second. Still not showing on my screen, on my computer. U1. Back into that net. Whoops. I don't want that. Okay, there we go. It is up. 1 and 7. Live chat. We are back again. Hopefully you had time to run to the bathroom, get a snack, whatever else you wanted to do. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch out. I didn't even grab my thread yet. We're going to stitch out blocks 1 and 7. And I think it was Mary that mentioned that she thought this went in order from easiest to hardest. And that makes sense, you know, if you want to just kind of ease you in and then move along. So we're looking for our apple tree. I put this that I was going to stitch them both in my 9.5 by 9.5. So I'm hooped up here and I just have my stabilizer or my muslin going to the right hand side. I use muslin instead of the no-show mesh or the light mesh cutaway because I like the way it feels. I like the way it presses out. And I feel like it feels less plasticky, and that's what I really, really like about it. So, and because you have stabilized fabric and batting, it's enough of a base for you to work with. Good afternoon. Hello again. Hello again. So we're going to do fall signpost and apple tree. Let me grab that pouch. I think there's probably going to be some embellishments from your kit. And let me grab the thread that we're going to be using because I didn't do that. I was like running around like crazy this whole time. Cindy Lehman mentioned that last brown piece of fabric that I found, that it went to apple tree. So I just shoved it in here. So, and then I did fuse the SF101 to the back of the piece of fabric that I forgot to cut originally. As far as colors go, here is your color list. Hopefully I have all of these. I'm going to grab them really quickly. Sorry, wish I had, I was moving fast that whole time. I don't know what took me so long. At this point, my mountain, you know how there's that island of plastic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? I have an island of fabric and notions and all sorts of stuff in the middle of my sewing room. So I totally relate to that. I'm like, oh, this is my island and it continues to grow and I have no control over it, is how I feel. So let's open up our little goodie drawer right here. And a bunch of the thread's going to be in here. Sorry, I wasn't even planning on stitching today. I thought it was going to take us way longer to do everything. But we got done so fast. I'm looking for Shadow. Shadow, where are you, Shadow? Okay. I have islands of thread because I have run out of room with my thread as well. So let me grab this. Normally you don't see me looking for my thread in a frenzy because I have it all picked out beforehand. But now you get to see the real me, which I think you guys all know anyways. All right, Timber Sandcastle. What is this mess? I do not like my thread being messy. If ever you get a mess and you can't find the end, turn your thread upside down and then it'll shake out. So just turn it upside down. Don't try to keep unraveling it. If you turn it upside down, it'll shake out. You might have to cut some off, but that's okay. All right. Timber Sandcastle. I'm going to back us up again so I can get into this drawer. Here's Timber. Where's my Sandcastle? Peppercorn. Sand Dune. Biscotti. Where is... And then do I have thread someplace else? I might. Some of these I turn upside down because I've run out of room. Okay. I'm being very unsuccessful right now. Aloe Baby Blue. Baby Blue. Here we go. Baby Blue. Wild Plum. Wild Plum is kind of purple. Maybe we should have started at 12:30 instead, or no, what? Yeah, 12:30. I need Wild Plum. Where are you? Where are you, Wild Plum? Candy Apple. Or one of these my Candy Apple? Wildflower. Here's Candy Apple. Buttermilk. Oh, I've never used that before. I need Military Gold and Buttermilk. Coffee bean. Military Gold and Buttermilk. I feel like my threads must be hiding someplace else. Here's Military Gold and Buttermilk. Buttermilk is marmalade. Sand Dune, Caramel, Vegas Gold. Sandcastle. I was looking for Sandcastle, right? Okay. Where's my linen? Here's linen. So I got linen, smoke. I haven't found my shadow. I've got Timber Sandcastle. Haven't found my Wild Plum. Burnt orange. Here's burnt orange. Buttermilk. I haven't found. Military Gold, Clover, Baby Blue, and Space. I was actually using Space. That was what the color I was using for my Soul Blue. Of all colors, that's what I settled on. So I'm still missing Buttermilk, Wild Plum, and Buttermilk, Wild Plum, and Shadow. Okay. Black, Buttermilk, and Wild Plum. Pearl. Buttermilk, Wild Plum, and Shadow. Wild Plum is super purpley. Monarch. Let's just make sure it's not back here. All right, not here. And Wild Plum. I don't know where my Wild Plum is. Am I going to have to use something else? Wild Plum, Buttermilk. Got Buttercup, Buttermilk, Caramel. Okay, why don't we go without and see if they don't show up? Meaning maybe I don't even need those colors for these right now. Although I think all the colors are going to kind of repeat. Buttermilk is, it's going to be Yellow Whisper, Dijon, Cornflower, Sand. There's Buttermilk. Okay. Shadow. Very strange that I don't have my shadow. So I'm looking for Shadow and Wild Plum. Shadow and Wild Plum. This is Lead Gray. Shadow and Wild Plum. I'm so sorry, guys. If you want a thumbs down this part, you can. It'll get better. I promise. All right. We're just going to start with this. We're going to start stitching, and if I have to sub something for my Wild Plum, I will, but I'm going to go ahead and take this. I love my tray. Let's get all our colors on here. And maybe I put those, you know, sometimes when I'm doing a project, I'll pull them aside and I'll put them in the bag with the project. And those are such popular colors. So let's come on over to the machine and let's get loaded up I just sent over all of my designs. Where do you get the baggy things that you put your cut pieces in? So those are just straight from Amazon. And we have an affiliate link. So if you go to our website, there should be an affiliate link there for those bags. I know. I'm so sorry. I usually, I wasn't planning on stitching today because normally I would put everything together before we even started. And this was kind of spur of the moment. I thought 15 minutes, 20 minutes was going to be enough time for me to get ready. It obviously was not. All right. I was cleaning up my design database transfer. So I touched this button. If I want to select a design, because it brings these buttons up that allow you to delete things from your memory on the machine or in design database transfer, I'm going to deselect, gets rid of that. Now I can select the design I want and the background quilting. So I'm going to grab, if I can find it, my handy dandy spreadsheet, and for fall sign post, because I'm just going to go in order of, well, 1 and 7 I'm doing together, and then we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. We need fruit 18, 4x8. And I'm going to load them all now, although I won't. I'll stitch them. I'm going to load it now, but I'm going to stitch one at a time. So this is on page 18. Sorry you had to wait. Now I have to tear my room apart and see where that thread is. We are going to do fruit 14, the 4x8. I like to pull this up because I like you to be able to see what the design looks like. So you can see the quilting design in the background. It looks like it has a little pail in the upper right-hand corner. That's what I'm going to look for. So I put all my border stuff. It's probably going to be this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and load that, and we'll touch set. And now we're going to add the design that goes on top of it, which is going to be this design here with the sign. So we're going to go ahead and touch add, touch the pocket, go back here to design database. That's how I sent it over wirelessly. And let's get the sign right here and set it. There are special alignment instructions, and I usually put that on here. So it'll usually say centered unless there's something special. And in this case, we have to align the design with the bottom of the quilting design. So this is a good time to zoom in. And I'm also going to add the hoop that I'm using. So I'm personally using the 9.5 by 9.5, but for instance, if you were using the 6 by 10, you could load this design and bump it up a little. So I'm going to go here to my settings button. Yours might look like a piece of notebook paper, and I'm going to select the appropriate hoop, which is the 9.5 by 9.5. That just happens to be what I'm using. You can use any hoop you want. And I'm going to go ahead and leave everything else here. Everything is at default. You can tell because it's in the black box. That's where it's going to work best. And I can either rotate it and move it up, or I could just go ahead and move it to the side. I hoop my stabilizer going left and right, so I'm just going to snug it over to the left. So I'm going to go edit, or actually, let's not even do it in here. I'm not going to do it in here. I'm going to do it in the next page. And we also have to do the alignment, which I almost forgot about. So let's zoom you in a little bit. I'm going to come here and I'll go into, let's go 150% so you can see better. And so the red box that's going around the main design, you want to line it up with the bottommost line of the quilting design. So if you look right here, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's go ahead and move it, and then I'll show it to you. So let's go to edit. I'm going to go to my move arrows, or it might say the word move. We know that the design's going to move, not the background quilting, because the red box is around the design. And just go ahead and hit your down arrow. You can hold it down if you want to go fast. I overshot it, so I'm going to go up a little bit. That looks good. I think it's lined up right on that, right? Yep. And that looks just like the picture. We're ready. So now that that's lined up, let's go ahead and say okay. Touch embroidery. It's going to combine on your next screen. Now we can move it, and it's going to move as one. So I'm going to go layout, move. I don't have my hoop on. Let's put our hoop on, so that way you can't go outside of our embroidery field. Wild plum. I need to find my wild plum. If I don't have it, I might sub in an isocord. Here we go. Slide them on. Sometimes the hoops that don't come with the machine are snug. And if they're snug and hard to get on, you want to grab it right here in the back of this part where you hold it. Hold that as you push the hoop on so it doesn't move this. If you move this, then you're moving your machine out of calibration. All right, says okay right here. I'm going to touch okay. And we'll just go ahead and do this one, and then we'll do the next one either using our camera or our projector to make sure that it's not going to go on top of this. All right, last thing I want to do is on this screen, I'm going to go right here where you go plus and minus stitches. Oh, wait, I never moved it. Let's move it over. Good thing I looked. With the hoop on, it's not going to go outside of the embroidery field. I'll do the next one over here. I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and plus and minus stitches. That will bring up this window, which is going to tell you what's stitching out now, allow you to skip steps, and then if your thread breaks or you need to go backwards or forwards, you have those buttons up. So that's where I like to stitch from. Let's go ahead and put in, I'm just going to grab a color. I'm going to grab it and put in military gold, and we're going to do the placement line. Placement line, and then we're going to put it down our batting. Here we go. We're off to the races. This is a 27-minute stitch out. You got to expect it to take longer because we're going to be doing our placement and tack down stitches. All right. While it's doing that, here's my handy dandy spray tent with its dirty piece of cardboard. You can change this out, but why change it out? It's working fine. And I'm going to get, did I not grab the right pouch? Hang on. Here we go. Fall sign pouch. Hopefully I have the right one. And I'm going to give my batting, and you want the nubbier side with the outies. See, this has the outies, and this side is dimpled in. So this is the wrong side, your outie side. I love KK100. I love it, I love it, love it. I couldn't live without it. So I actually went to go buy more, and they were sold out. I've never seen them sold out before, ever. It was the craziest thing. They always have like 1,000 cans, so I hope something's not going on. Good thing we probably have 20 cans at the store. And I personally have 2 cans at home, just in case. All right. We are going to go ahead. I cut these 2 sides. If you do not like doing that, some people don't like it, don't. You can put your batting down, do the tack down, and the trim. But this saves so much time, and I think it comes out, I think my end product looks pretty good. I know this is a ratty piece, but look at it. You put this on top, and you don't even know. I'm going to go over to the side a little bit because I'm going to have that other piece down here, and it's going to be kind of close. So go ahead and press it down. I have about 1.5 inches here and like 3/4 of an inch. That's fine. As long as it's covering the batting and you have about 1/4 of an inch outside, it's good because you're going to fussy cut to that. All right. We've got to skip some steps because I cut everything to size and I laid down my background. We're going to go ahead and skip this step. This is your batting, tack down, and trim. I'm already cut to size. That's your background placement. Blues placement. Gold is going to be tack down and trim. Not all the time. Sometimes they're the colors. That's going to be the background tack down step. And it's a good time to have your spatula too. I grabbed mine, but I lost it. If you're feeling tempted to reach in there with your finger, you're going to reach in with this instead. I use it as a stiletto, as my extra hand, as my poker outer. It's my all-purpose. All right. So now we're going to do the background quilting. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to do with the background quilting. What should we do? What are they calling for? So they're recommending linen. Anytime they recommend linen, a lot of times I will do pearl because it stands out a little bit more. So I'm going to grab my pearl thread. The other thing I really like is I I can't stand not having glitz and glam these days. This is OESD, this is from Isocord, and is it Isocord or it's Yenmit? And this is color AN1, which I think is, I think it's a, it's their metallic, glitter thread. I'm gonna go with this. What do you think? I like to spool it out. Is this like, you know what? That doesn't feel like fall to me. The iridescent. I'm going to go with, I'm just going to stick with pearl. So it does call for linen. I'm going with pearl. It's just one shade darker. I feel like it stands out a little bit more without being obnoxious. Are you using Hello Shimmer 6? What's 6008? What is 6008? Is that it's this one, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Is it gorgeous? Should I use it? I'm worried it's going to be too much. Because I felt like I did Sweetheart Street with Hollow Shimmer, and I wish I had done it in the pale, pale pink instead of the pink I did it in. I thought it was a little much. So I'm going to go with Pearl. I know. Cindy, do you feel like, are you like, I got to have Hollow Shimmer? It's got to be bright. The light Hollow Shimmer. Wait, so which one are you using, Lita? Now I'm having a remorse. 6046. Which one is 6046? 6046. 6046. I don't even know which one that is. Does it say what color it is? Okay, here we go. Pearl. I'm committed. Ooh, the light multi. The light multi is like one of my favorites. If I had to take just one, I think it might be light multi. And then I'd have to go maybe the silver and the gold. And I love the mint green. This one is so gorgeous too. It's more of like, I'd say like a tan. Yeah, I bet that one isn't much, this isn't much darker than the pearl. And then you've got the glitz and the glam. Okay, after we do the quilting stitch, look, because sometimes you have special instructions here. After quilting, go to machine step 3 in the embroidery instructions. So these first instructions are for placement. We already have our fabric down, so we're going to go straight to page 19, and we're going to go to step number 3, the clouds. So you're going to need your blue felt. So get your embellishment kit, get your blue felt out. Okay, here's my blue felt right here. Stitch the cloud placement line and place the cloud felt. And the color it wants is going to be, hopefully I have it in my, hopefully it's one of the colors I had, baby blue. So get your baby blue thread. That's what we're going to use next. Baby blue, baby blue. Where are you? I have baby blue. I know where that is actually. Okay, don't forget, we're skipping steps. So we are going to skip that. That's a placement line. Lay down your fabric. We don't need that. And we're going to go right there to the cloud placement line. So let's go ahead and do your placement line. I'm going to give the corner of this just right here a little shot of spray to hold it down. Although it's grippy, it's not going anywhere. I usually don't pre-cut my embellishments because I feel like there's a lot of waste and you're going to be left with so much more if you don't pre-cut. All right. Where is he? Where is that cloud? I wasn't watching. Oh, here he is, right over here on the side. He is little and itty bitty. Make sure that you give yourself about an, I'd say 1/8 of an inch all the way around, as long as it says cut as desired. Place it down, trim the felt as desired. This is raw edge applique. So I like to have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Oops, hang on. Didn't change my thread out. Let me take out my pearl. We're going to put in baby blue. Baby blue. I think blue and shades of blue are my favorite colors. Although I really like teals and I really like mint greens and deep jewel tones. Okay, for cutting as desired, I'm going to get my curved straight scissors. There is a time and a place for curved straight and curved. Uh-oh, where are my favorite snips? There they are. All right. You want the curved straight scissors because it's going to allow you to control your cuts. So these are the Femore. They're the angled straight scissors. And if you order them, we have them in the store, but I only have like 4 or 5 pairs left, and they're sold out until August. Okay, and you don't want to cut, well, you can cut right to the stitch because it's as desired, right? That means what you desire, not what I desire. But I like leaving a little bit of an edge. I think it looks better. But if you feel like you have trouble controlling your scissors and it doesn't look good, cut right to the stitch. This is raw edge applique, which means there isn't going to be a satin stitch. And anytime it's like super round, then I do slide my hoop off. Otherwise, I choose to leave my hoop on and contort my hand where I'm like, oh, I didn't know my body could move like that. This is going to get sewn into the seam so you can trim that right to the stitch. There we go. All right, go ahead and slide your hoop back on. If you take it off, always make sure you fluff it. It's always so upsetting when you go to stitch and you're like, wait a minute, my fabric's wrapped underneath and stitched down. All right, next step. Stitch the wing detail. You're still going to be using baby blue. And then we're going to be putting down the grass. It needs color K, which is clover. So let's get your clover thread. Clover. Clover is like one of those have-to-have colors. Clover, aloe, tidewater, taffy, marlin, linen, shadow. You gotta have those colors. So here's your grass. We're going to need this next. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray right now. If you want, you can tape. You can do whatever you want. I know people glue stick. All right, this is your placement line. Let's go ahead and put your clover in. Clover. Your grass is directional. You need those lines to be going up and down vertically. I mean, is it going to be the end of the world if you cut your grass wrong and they go horizontally? No. But you want them up and down if you think of it. Make sure you cut it so that the stripes go up and down like that. Because that's your grass. All right, I'm going to go ahead and place this. Make sure you're not cockeyed. You're going to do the tack down. I'm doing the tack down and the trim. I did not do scan and cut. If I was doing scan and cut, I would have put heat and bond light and then sent the files over to my scan and cut to cut. We're just going to go do it the old-fashioned way. Here are my snips. These are right now my favorite snips. These are the Gypsy Quilters. I got to tell you, I think they're the same as the Baby Lock. I'm not the Baby Lock ones, but they're the same as the Kimberbell ones. But I was unable to get the Kimberbell ones. They were going to discontinue them, but they're bringing them back. But these, I mean, I think these are the same, except these are purple. And you know, Formori makes all the scissors for everybody. Not everybody, but almost everybody. So you'll see Formori makes OASD scissors, and they make the Kimberbell ones, and they make the Tula Pink ones. I like these because you just pinch. And if you're just on a piece of fabric and maybe some SF101, these are going to be strong enough. But if you're on thicker stuff, you're going to have to move up to a different pair other than the snips. Ready? Okay, stitch the grass decorative outline. I'm going to get that little bit that's sticking up just in case. Sometimes it matters. Sometimes a little sticky outer, you can see it. Okay, you're leaving in the same color and just do the decorative stitch. You're going to need color I next. And I is buttermilk. So get your buttermilk. Change your bobbin thread to a water-soluble thread. Okay. This is what I use. It's Superior Thread. It's Vanish Light. And it comes in, we sell it at the store. You can get like a little spool of it, or you can get the 2,000 meters or 2,000 yards. I use Vanish Light. It's always been good enough for me. So, I wind it on bobbins, and when I put it on a bobbin, I write on there, these are all Vanish Light, all from different projects. We'll push this one in the other side. I write on it, Vanish, because the last thing you want to do is do a whole project with Vanish, throw it into the wash, and have it fall apart. So make sure you put that on there. All right, is this looking so cute? It's adorable already. All right, stitch the grass decorative outline. Change your bobbin thread to a water-soluble thread or visible thread. The visible thread thing, I tried that in the beginning before I had water-soluble thread. It is very hard to cut those threads. So I would highly recommend you get a water-soluble bobbin. I'm going to pull this out. Phil Tech, I love you. You're back. Put your water-soluble bobbin in. We're going to slide the hoop back on. Fluff your fabric. Make sure nothing is turned under. Put in your buttermilk thread. And there's nothing wrong with your hoop if it's hard to slide on. I don't know what it is, but the hoops that don't come with the machines, some of them are just difficult to get on and off. On the Luminaire and the Avanair and the Solaris and the Radiance, you just have to hold this slider on our part. Oh, that's a good idea. So Sylvia said she writes on her bobbin. She writes that it is her Vanish thread, but she puts it back in the bag. That's super smart. Why doesn't it like Vanish? Okay, we are doing the corn silk fringe. Whoops. That's about 20% to me, maybe even 30 or 40% where I forget to thread the machine, hit my thread button. How do I go back to the beginning of that stitch out? I'm just going to hit, this will go to the next color. This will go to the beginning of the color you're on. And then if I hit it again, it would go to the previous color. So now we're back to the beginning. You want all of those stitches. If it was like a placement line, sometimes I'll just start right where I am. But this you want. And then we're going to change the bobbin thread back. after we do this. Your luminaire should love Vanish. Yeah, I've never had a problem with the Vanish thread in my luminaire. It keeps coming unthreaded. So if your thread is coming unthreaded a lot of times in your bobbin, that could be an issue with the bobbin case. I don't know if you guys watched the video we made with the bobbin cases of shame. So check your bobbin case. It is kind of weird though that your other bobbin thread stays in there. All right, I'm going to put my regular, but there's really no reason why it would like one and not the other. I was thinking about some other videos I could make for you guys. Our most viewed video, I was on there with Patrick, and I was like, Patrick, our most viewed video is one that Patrick did, and it was all about, I'm just going to hit start. This is going to do the stalks. So the video he did was the order of operations, how you take your bobbin cover off and put it back again, and that so many people put their bobbin case back in and then they put the needle plate back on and it pulls it down the wrong spot and then they have an issue. So I was like, Patrick, it had, I mean, of course we're not like, you know, we're not Justin Bieber. We don't have like millions of views. But I want to say it had like 13,000 views, and a lot of the comments were about how Patrick saved them, because sometimes you'll take something like that to your dealer and have them fix it, and it's not even a service issue. It was just that your bobbin case wasn't put in right, and then the needle plate was put on top of it, and then you get a needle strike. So we were thinking about some other videos we could make for you that would save you from having to go get your machine serviced when it doesn't need to be serviced. Yeah, Donna, there's no reason why your luminaire wouldn't like the Vanish light either. I would maybe consider, maybe you need a different bobbin case or something. Okay, just keep stitching this out. Next thing we're going to stitch is the post fill, and that's going to be color G, which is timber. So get your timber thread next. This is next. While it's stitching out, I'm going to take a peek around to see if I can find my shadow and my wild plum thread. Okay, found the shadow. Wild Plum is nowhere to be found. So I grabbed this. I don't know. This seems pretty close. 2336. That could be pretty close. Hopefully that's going to work. It's got to match this fabric. I don't know if this is okay, I got to keep looking. This is close, but not quite. Wild Plum, where are you? I might go Iris instead. Iris is pretty close. Okay. If you can't find Wild Plum, go Iris. You do what you gotta do when you can't find what you can't find. Ooh, this is looking very cute. This is 7-minute stitch out for the corn stalks. And then you're going to get your, was it timber? Is timber next? D? Yes, timber. Get your timber thread. Cerise. 2506. Maybe I won't even need it for this one. Because it seems like at this point that's the last. Ooh, F. That looks like. Yes. It is in this one. But I'm just going to use the Iris. And I'll have to grab a Wild Plum, although I know I have one. We're a little bit more than halfway through. We're at 14 minutes into our stitch out with a 27-minute stitch out. I love this. I love this whole part here. This will tell you how many stitches in we are, how many color changes. We're on our 16th color change, total time, and how many minutes we're in. You're going to notice a big change in your time if you're stitching slower than I am. When I stitch, I almost always stitch at 1,050 stitches per minute, unless there's something challenging in there. But let's say you go 600 stitches per minute. Now our time went from 27 minutes to 31 minutes. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to 1,050. You're going to notice, even if you have like a Destiny or a Dream machine, where'd that come from? I don't even know where that came from. Okay, let's put in our timber. That you might have 1,050 stitches per minute, and I have 1,050 stitches per minute, but my machine goes faster because it does some things faster. Like the Avenir and the Luminaire are much faster when it does a satin stitch. On a Destiny and Dream machine or some of the other machines, it kind of goes dunk, 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 dunk. But if you do your satin stitch on this, it goes and it goes really, really fast. So there's things that these are designed to do faster. All right, here goes the post. Like this post, I think this is going to be a satin stitch. But I could be wrong. There we go. Oh, yay, Sylvia. Yeah, sometimes I have to see something. Or I was tired this morning. I went to bed really late last night because I've been working on Soul Blue and I was like just into it. And so this morning when I got up, I was like, oh, I don't feel like stitching. But I love that we have a scheduled time because it gets me motivated and moving forward. And now that I'm in it, I feel like sometimes I'm like a rock sitting on a giant hill And once you get me, you push me, I start rolling down. I'm super, super fast. I keep stitching, and then I roll up onto another hill, and I need another push. That's like how I look at myself. And a rock, by the way, is my spirit animal. Because a rock just sits there most of the time. That's what I like. I love sitting. All right. After we do this, you're going to stitch the sign placement lines, and you're going to be doing that. Oh, wait, we got to do the ground fill. So just go ahead and hit start again. We're going to do the ground fill. And then we need E, which I think is going to be sandcastle. Yes. Get your sandcastle. And this looks like an embellishment. Get your wood grain leather. I gotta say, wood grain is pretty cool. Like, that's awesome. That looks like wood. So you're gonna get that embellishment and your sandcastle thread. Those embellishments like wood grain and the woven leather, I would get those now. If you don't have it, order them because they discontinue this stuff. Sometimes I think I'm safe. Oh my goodness. Look how cool this is. I think this is for the truck. It's so, isn't that awesome? Shiny like a truck. All right, we're gonna do wood grain next. Wood grain, wood grain. Does he have a birthday, Lita? Birthday or graduation? Ooh, this looks so cute. I love the bench pillows. If I had time tonight, I would just stitch this all out in one day. It's one of those projects. But I don't have any time. Oh, 7 and 3. That's like the sweetest time, isn't it? Don't worry about this puckering. We will press this out on your wool mat, and using muslin will make it easier to press out too. Little boys are so happy when they're 7 and 3. Your Viking hates Floriani. I don't know what the rage is with Floriani. Honestly, I've never used it. It's pretty. It looks nice. But, yeah, I've always been, the first thread I ever got was marathon thread. And I got my first thread set it must have been 2008 was when I got my first embroidery machine. And I went on the internet and I said, what is the best embroidery thread? And a bunch of people mentioned marathon thread. So I ordered, they sold it in like their 50 most popular colors and their their next 50 most popular colors. And I bought one set in rayon and one set in polyester because I didn't know the difference between the two and which was better. And I used that in the beginning. I really like the marathon thread. It's priced really well. What I don't like about it is it doesn't have, this is marathon thread. I don't, at this point, like any thread that doesn't have the pop bases where you can like put your thread in there and it stays neat and tidy, because these all get really messy. And marathon's hard to find. You have to buy directly from them. Not many places carry it. And then I started doing a lot of OESD projects and then Kimberbell projects. So now I use Glide and Isocord. So those are the two thread collections that if I need a thread, I get them from them. And I probably have almost a full collection of both of them. Okay, what are we doing next? Sorry, talking here. Focus, Jeannie, focus. So I'm going to put in my sandcastle. So, oh, we were talking about Floriani. So, Floriani is wound the opposite direction of all the other threads, is what we're told, right? So, some machines struggle with Floriani. But I think people get it because you go to those like Floriani events and they make you this great deal on it. I'm Isacord and Glide all the way. Isocord's just a nice, high quality, great thread with the bottoms that I like, and a large variety of colors, and it's used in all the OESD projects. And then I also like it based on, am I going to be able to get it? So, and Glide is super popular, and Glide's a little bit cheaper than Isacord. I'm not sure what the price point is with Floriani too, but yeah, I just like them. Okay, I'm looking at that going, it's going to be really hard for me to lay it down and just cut it and have all that waste. I can't help it. I can't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little shot of spray just in one corner. Maybe this corner. I'm going to do each one, cut, each one, and cut. So it's starting down here. And these, I think, are going to be trim as designed. Trim the leather close. You're trimming close to the stitch line. Guess what? I'll go a little bit over. Close to the stitch line. So I'm going to do this one. Once it cuts, I'm going to hit the stop button and I'll trim. There must be like a satin stitch or something over it. Okay, it cuts. I'm going to hit the stop button. It'll go to the next position, but it won't sew. I'm going to trim this. Ooh, he's so hard to slide out. Close. Okay, next one. Oh, it's that last 1/4 inch. There we go. Okay, I'll do him right here. Okay, here's my tack down, and then I'm going to hit the start stop button. Really the stop. And then I'll trim. Okay. Yeah, if it works for you and you love it, use it. So I hit my stop button. It will go to the next spot. I used to never match my threads, but because I don't like to think, I like matching my threads now. I like to be like, oh, this step calls for this color, and just use that color. I find that with OESD, because I do like every tiling scene they put out, I've tried to choose my colors. I do a horrible job. And so I don't do that anymore because it's a lot of money to put into one of those projects in time. And so I know it's going to look great if I use the colors it calls for. So I just use those colors now. Hi, Mita. I know we had Cheryl, you there? Cheryl gave away all our Floriani and brought it into the store. Cheryl had a lot, but it made a lot of people happy. We were like, you can only have 10. Because I wanted to spread the love. Because, you know, somebody would just grab the whole bag. I think I got closer this direction. Mita, you excited for your new machine? Oh, that reminds me, because we went to the store and waited all day for them to deliver machines on Thursday, and they didn't. So we're getting them this week. A bunch of people are getting their Avenires. So we're supposed to do a sewing class this week. I think I'm going to put it off till next week so everyone has their machines. All right, trim the leather close to the stitch line, which is what we just did. I'm going to turn the page. We have 6 more minutes left in our stitch out. We're going to stitch the sign decorative outline. It looks like the Kimberbell stitch. So you need to make sure you're nice and close anytime you're doing the Kimberbell stitch, meaning you don't want to have the fabric or whatever on the cut far away. Otherwise, the stitch doesn't cover it. Oh, looks like we weren't threaded. For OESD has just released. Oh, there's a new tiling scene. You know I'm going to be doing it. Although I have one tiling scene that's still not put together. One of the Thomas Kincaid ones. Why did you say that? I love Thomas Kincaid. We'll do a special. I'll look it up. Looking cute. And then you're going to stitch the cornstalk detail. You're going to leave sandcastle in for this step and the next step. Then timber. What's the leaves fill? Leaves fill. Leaves fill and burnt orange. So this is going to be sandcastle, timber, burnt orange, clover. That's going to be your wild plum, which I can't find. So I'm going to use iris and then aloe. Necessity is the mother of invention. Oh, it's fall. Oh, congratulations, Deborah. I know. It was, it was the weirdest thing, Nita, because he was on the phone with them. He set it up. We went in to pick it up. And then when he called her, she's like, oh, you said you weren't going to be open. It was the weirdest, strangest thing. Yeah, I was hoping everyone would have gotten their machines from last weekend, but it'll be this week. But I think it'll be here Tuesday, Mita. And then but we have some people that were at the show that we're sending their machines to. So for those people, I want to make sure they have their machines before we do the sewing class. And then I'm ready for Avenir Club. So we have Avenir Club on the 24th. Here's our project that we're going to be doing. We're not going to be sewing this whole thing together, but we're going to be doing the couching letters. And then we're going to do I already have mine stuffed. I love this bag. It was so much fun. Okay, wait, what am I putting in now? Focus, Jeannie. Focus. Task at hand. Okay. Cornstalk detail, same color. Just go ahead and start. I know, I stuffed it. So sometimes when I do a project, everything that I'm going to use, I put in the bag. And we're doing this too in Avenir Club. So I'm going to make a small one too. And you won't believe the foot I used to do this. I stitched it just like this. I didn't worry about the edges. I floated it on top and it came out so great. And I used the E-foot. So we're going to do that in class as well. And then this is the other part of the class. I'll just take out a little bit. I know the yarn's everywhere. We're going to do the couched sewing in that's going to be with the with the dual feet foot and the couching sole. So we'll quilt that with the couch sole. You'll finish the bag on your own. In class, what we're going to do is we're going to do this in class. We're going to do the lining to the back. We'll quilt that. And then we'll do this piece. That's going to be in class. And then everything else you'll finish on your own, but I did all the videos. Okay, let me put that away. Yeah, it's going to be, did I do 2 sessions? There'll be 1 session that's going to be for the people that got their machine from us. And then there'll be a paid version, a paid class. But this was so much fun to make. So I do have to finish this small one. I want to make like 8 million of them. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. And then we'll use and then the next Avenir Club is going to be all about positioning. And we'll set that up for sometime in September. Oh my God, I have so many ideas. So many things I want to show you. Lita, I think, isn't the class up? I think I'm doing the, the 28th is for the people that got their machines for me, and the 29th is for everyone else. But I think it's up, so you can sign up. And I've updated the supply list. My goal is to have each Kimberbell club to have one at the end of each month, and then to have your supply list by the 15th, which this one will be a little bit earlier. I wanted time to send you guys your supplies too. Oh, that's so cute. Doesn't that look so great? The detail. Mita, you're going to have so much fun with that project. I just know that when, as a retailer, when we go to trainings and there's a new machine, we usually get to sew on the machine and they show us stuff. But some of it can be scary. Like if you don't have somebody that walks you through it, it could be a little scary setting up. So I'm hoping that these classes will get you to do other things with your machine that you might not necessarily have done. I love the embroidered letter couching. I think it's so much fun. Okay, I'm putting in timber, right? Timber. D. Yes. Put your timber in. It's going to stitch out the words on the sign. Oh, that looks cute. How are we doing? Oh, I know, Mita. It's fast. It's fast. It still says that it's 1,050 stitches per minute, but it does things that your machine, the one that you have right now, does it faster. I'm giving my dog some peanut butter. At this point, I can make the dogs come running if I say, whipped cream. Although I try not to give it to them because I don't want them to get cavities. And they don't let me brush their teeth. Oh, here. Sorry. Peanut butter. Peanut butter's so great. I love peanut butter. I think my favorite is peanut butter and fluff. Growing up on the East Coast, you had peanut butter and fluff. They don't sell fluff. It's not as common on the West Coast. There is like one store, I think they'll have it now, but they used to have one store. It was actually a restaurant, and it's the Dish, and the gal who runs the Dish, I think, is originally from the East Coast, so you can go get your fluff there. But I also love peanut butter and Nutella with banana. So good. I should just have a jar of each of those at the store, because I could just eat that all day, every day. Okay, put in your burnt orange. Oh my God, that sign is so cute. Oh, it's big. I mean, here's my arm. I mean, what is this? This has got to be like a foot, 2 feet, like 3 feet. It's big, but it's worth it. And it's not going to be going all over the place. I was working on Soul Blue, and I have had the 11.5 by 18-inch snap hoop for a while. And I go, okay, we're going to use it. And I was just scared because it was so big. It was wonderful. I hooped up and I thought, oh my goodness, I just fit so much in my hoop. This is going to save me. Wait, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Yeah. Stitch the leaves. And there's 2 of them. It was so incredible. I'm not somebody that stitches in larger hoops. Like, this is probably as big as I go, 9.5 by 14. I don't do a lot of big embroideries, but I do a lot of quilting in the hoop. And when you have a hoop that big, you can cover a lot of ground. Hi, Miss Quilt Wench. Will 1 yard work for the Avenir Club project bag? Are you talking about the fabric that I just showed off? Because 1 yard. So if you're doing the if you're gonna do Avenir Club, that class, just get a yard cut And we're going to use it for, unless you want to do a lot of stuff with it, we're going to do, I'm going to have you cut half of it. Half of it will be for your project bag. Not even half. It's going to be a 15 by 15 inch square. And then the other half we're going to use in our positioning class. So we're going to use that panel for 2 different classes. The first one, I thought, oh, we could just learn it. But I was like, it's so much more fun if it actually becomes something. Did I do that right? Okay, yeah. Go ahead and put in your clover, and you're going to stitch the leaf 2 stem detail. So it depends on how many of those bags you want to make. If you want to make a bunch of them, and there'll be a recorded version of the class too, so if you can't make it live. And it's also going to work if you have a Luminaire or a Solaris. I think everything I did in that class, I mean, there's going to be some slight differences, but you're going to be able to do that. I think you have a different couching arm. So there's 2 different couching arms for sewing and embroidery. And for the Avenir and the Radiance, I'm not going to do a class for the Luminaire, but you can, the recording will work for you. Go ahead and put in your Wild Plum. I'm using Iris. I mean, is it possible I don't have Wild Plum? I don't think so. I'm like 98% sure I have it. It's been in other things, hasn't it? Maybe I just lost it. You're going to stitch out leaf 1 fill and leaf 3 stem detail. When is the last time to sign up for this class? Are you talking about for the Avenir Club? And you know, I'll make it available for Luminaire and Solaris too. They're going to be able to do it. You'll just do it on your own. Oh, it'll just be up there. There'll be a couple of differences, but not too much major differences. Ooh, peanut butter banana pancakes. You know what I don't like is I don't like the natural, the peanut butters you have to stir. That's what Patrick gets. Because Patrick makes good choices, but I don't like those. I like no stir peanut butter. Okay, you're going to put in your aloe. Put in your aloe. Oh, good. So you found it? I'm like, did I forget something? Every once in a while, we miss something in an order, so definitely let us know. We'll always make it right. Ah, I know. I would love a Luminaire Club too. Not enough hours in the day. All right, we are done. Wasn't that awesome? Okay, we're going to do the next one. So let's go ahead and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to leave this the way it is. We're hooped. I'll probably take this and kind of pull it back and tape it out of the way because it's going to be snug. It might not go all the way over there. You might not have to move it. So let's go to our home button. That's going to clear your screen. We are doing, that one was the sign. Now we're going to do apple tree, and that's on page 11. So let's turn to page 11. What I'm looking for is our background quilting design, which I have here on my sheet too. Background quilting is going to be fruit 14. It's the same quilting design. Oh, so I didn't have to start over. I could have just hit return, gotten rid of the embroidered design and left the quilting design, but we'll just load it again. You guys ready? Any questions? It is so cute. It was absolutely so cute. I really love Kimberbell. I think they do a great job digitizing. The designs are great. Instructions are amazing. You really appreciate good instructions when there's mediocre instructions out there. So I'm going to go ahead and add the apple tree. Thank you, Cindy, for telling me that brown fabric went to the apple tree. Here we go. That looks like the apple tree. Go ahead and set it. And we have the same alignment. So you're going to come in here. I'm going to zoom into 200% so I can see it better. The box is around the design, so I can just go edit, move, and I'm going to scoot the red until the red line is down on the bottom orange line. If you're one click above or one click below, it's going to be fine. There, perfect. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to go embroidery. Now these two designs are combined. I'm going to move it all the way to the right. Layout, move, and I'm going to use the right arrow. And so it's scooted over as far as it can go. I'm also going to do my projector. So let's go ahead and turn on the projector. I just want to see if it wants to stitch over that, or if we're good. Oh yeah, it's totally the batting placement is going to stitch over this if we leave it. So I'm going to fold it back and I'll tape it back out of the way. So now that we know that, I'm going to take my transport tape and let's move it. So you want to check sometimes. I use my projector. I don't use it all the time, but when I want to use it, I sure do love it. Here we go. Just tape it out of the way so you don't have to worry about it. Ah, my wild plum, where are you? The iris is super pretty too. And it's the same tone. I think it's like not quite as dark as the wild plum. I think the wild plum's a little bit darker. Okay, get that fabric out of the way if you're doing it in the same hooping like I am. And I'm going to go ahead and say okay. I'm going to turn off my projector. And I'm going to go to this button here where you go forward and backward stitches. It's going to start with the placement line for your batting. I'm just going to leave in my aloe, and I'll just use that. Doesn't make a difference, really. So let's go ahead and give our fabric a shot of spray. For right now, I'm just going to spray the wrong side, this side of my batting, and the wrong side of my background fabric. Make sure there's no dirty threads under there that are going to shadow through. When you're on light colors, it's really easy for stuff to shadow through. This is the icky side. There we go. Sometimes they just both look icky. Here is this. Do not spray on your machine. Try to refrain from spraying at your machine. Every once in a while I do. I'm going to put this down next. That feels good. Let's go ahead and skip a couple steps. So from this screen, this is the tack down and trim for the batting. I'm going to skip that. That's the background placement. I'm going to skip that. That's the tack down for the background. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to get my little spatula ready just in case I'm tempted to reach my finger in there. Don't use white or linen because those blend. And I don't know about you, but my eyes are not getting any better. And it'll make it so that this is easy to fussy cut to. This is a 32-minute stitch out. Here we go. All right, apple tree. We're also going to need green felt for the leaves, and I think everything else we have. So, after quilting, go to machine step 3, marked with the star. So we're going to skip those first couple of steps. I love all their little things, like that they threw in a star here, so we know to start right here. Stitch the grass placement line. Oh, the little girls are so cute that were here this weekend. They were like, "Look at your nails. How did you do that?" Because it's almost a French tip, guys. This is my original manicure. But now it's a French tip. I go, well, it was the whole nail that was painted because they thought that I had them done like this. If you want to feel good about your nails, come to A1 Vacuum and Sewing Sew-Alongs. And then you can see mine, and then you'll feel great about yours. I forgot to do my quilting stitch. So I'm glad that I looked at my screen, because that's the quilting stitch. And you guys were probably all like, hey, you forgot your quilting stitch. But I couldn't hear you. I'm going to put my purl in. Sometimes I get to talking and I go on autopilot and I just start thinking I'm doing something else. And quilt away. Mita, did you say my sewing room looks neat? Oh man. This was cleaned off before we started. Look at it now. Those are like UFOs. It's UFOs everywhere. And then there is an island of stuff. I actually took the island and I covered it with blankets in case my camera went astray and you saw it over there. But there is an island of stuff. I talked about it to Patrick this morning. I go, Patrick, that island isn't going to go away because there's no more drawers or shelves or places to put it. If I finished all my UFOs, that would clear out a good deal of room and space. We're going to start doing UFO Fridays, I think. If I can fit that into my schedule and I could get one UFO done a week, like that sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Oh my God. It is bad in here. I'm glad the optical illusion is working. The staging, the framing. I'm good at framing out the mess. This morning I was tempted to just take everything on the table and sweep it into a box. But I go, if I do that, I might never look in the box again. Oh God, do we all need that? A UFO Friday? If we did a UFO Friday, I'd have to start it after, like maybe we could start it at like 4 and go to 7. What do you think? Should we do that? I might not be able to do every week. Why don't we try one Friday? We're going to have to shoot for one Friday. Okay, I'm going to work that in. Looking at my screen, I can tell I do not want to do that step right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear this off the screen. I don't want to do that step or that step. I want the placement line for the grass. And I know it shows you that blue. It's not asking you to do blue thread. It's telling you that's a placement line. And let's put in our clover. For real this time. Before it was just pretend. Now it's for real. Finish it Fridays! Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay. And everyone just shows up with a project to finish. I'll pick something specific from my queue because I got a lot of stuff. Like, how about I never even started Merry Christmas, y'all. I prepped for it and then never even did it. And that was like one of the ones I loved. Like, I love cowboys and I love cacti. Excuse me. Okay, this piece was a little bit longer than the other one, but if you mixed them up, the other one will work too. Okay, go ahead and place that down. We're going to do the, oh, do I have to change thread? No. Okay, tack down and trim. You're going to trim the fabric close so you want your snips. Finish It Fridays. We got to do it just because that's such a cute name. Oh, man. I have so much MIA stuff. Like my Wild Plum thread, my Kimberbell snips. Okay, trim it, and then you're going to do the decorative outline stitch. That is really sweet. Oh, I'm going to leave it. It's so hard to get on and off. I only hear one dog licking their mat, and I got to check because sometimes Poppy will take Momo's stuff, and he just takes it. The poor thing. You don't want to face Poppy's wrath. So Poppy doesn't like little kids. And the girls that came over, they're little. But she was so much better with them than she usually is. She let them like rub her belly, and I saw them hug her. We're really careful. We watch her. The Friday finishers. Oh my God, I love that too. Oh, that is so cute. Finish It Fridays and Friday finishers. Finish It Friday for Friday finishers. So delightful. Can you explain your use of muslin? So, hang on. Let's put in the next color. Stitch the trunk placement line. You're going to go ahead and put in timber. Yeah, the first time I ever used muslin, it was Nikki Brazel, who she was the one who started Destiny Divas. I don't know if you've been around for a while, you probably know the name. I love Nikki. She did an event for us, and she had all these Anita Good quilts that she had done, and she told me that she used muslin instead of the stabilizer. And I don't even know if I asked her why, but whatever Nikki did, I wanted to do too, because Nikki's my idol. Okay, find your brown piece of fabric. And I was brand new. We had just bought the store. I was brand new to sewing and embroidery, pretty much. Well, not brand new, but any recommendation she had, I was down to take. So, and I asked her, I was like, well, what muslin? Like, what should I buy? And she was like, she goes, just buy any old stuff. Like, doesn't make a difference. So, I've always been of the mindset, like, you don't have to buy the most expensive, but don't buy the cheapest stuff either. So that's what I get from E.E. Shank. It's like not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest, but it's nice quality, and that's what I like. We're going to do the tack down. So I buy our muslin from E.E. Shank. It's 90-inch muslin, and I like it because when we, like this for instance, the puckers, when you go to press those out, they're going to press out so much nicer than they would if you were using no-show mesh or cutaway mesh. So I feel like it's more malleable. Like when you're pressing it, it's more forgiving. It's less plasticky. And I just like the way it feels in the quilt over stabilizer, over the recommended cutaway stabilizer. But if you love cutaway, keep using it. Don't be influenced by me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and trim this. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that, Lori. I've never thought about putting a little machine oil on it. We're going to trim this. We're going to trim it to Trim the fabric close to the stitch line. This is one of those trim outs that I'm like, oh, I'd really like this on my scan and cut. Because I don't like innies and outies. I want you to practice cutting with both hands. If you can do it. It just saves you time. And it saves you from having to take the hoop out. And it's just pinching, right? You should be able to do this with both hands. Kai and Patrick went on a mountain bike ride. I don't know where they are. I always worry about those two. What are we doing now? Satin stitch the trunk satin outline and details. You're still using timber. Yeah, that's another thing. Doesn't melt. The muslin's not going to melt. So Lita said she likes it because it doesn't melt to her iron. That's so random. Were you looking for that, Pat? Were you looking for that? Is that how you came in, Trish? A bar of soap? Okay. Beeswax. I have beeswax. Maybe I'll try that. I use muslin on unless I need like a if I need a dissolve away or I need a specialty or a sticky, then I don't use it, but I use it a lot. So we sell it by the bolt too. And if you want to get a bolt, I think it's $10.99 a yard, and the bolts have 15 yards on them. And then we do 30% off. And you'd be surprised how fast you're going to go through it. Cutting with my left hand would be dangerous. That's funny. Hey, no. I had to go over and shove Momo's cone of shame back on because he was going to town on his paw and not his peanut butter mat. Okay, after this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put your clover back in, and we're going to do the leaves placement line, and then we're going to place the leaves felt. So get your leaf felt, your leaves felt. I love fall. I love when it's like the hot summer's over and it starts to get a little brisk. Why did you not scan and cut? Yeah, I just didn't feel like it this time. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and start stitching, do placement, tack down, and trim. And then I'm going to do scan and cut for One Amazing Autumn. So when we do One Amazing Autumn, I was kind of just rushing through this one. And to be honest, Nita, I think it takes more time to do the scan and cut, but I love the cuts. I love how precise they are. I enjoy the whole process. But this one I was like, let's just do it. Wasn't even planning on stitching today. Renata, that's funny. Are you a righty, but you shoot pull and do cross stitch with your left hand? That's impressive. Yeah, Lita's on her second bolt of muslin. It goes fast. It depends, but I'll use it for backings of quilts, sometimes if I don't want to use something special. And because it's 90 inch, it's easy to cut down instead of like, having to piece it back from 45 inch. The kitties, how old are the kitties now, Cindy? Trish, that's so funny that that's how you found us. It's funny how people find us. Oh, 120 inch? That's always good too. The first time I bought muslin was at Joann's. I don't think we even carried fabric at that point. And it was some cheap, it was like 30, it was like a weird length, like 35 inches or 38 inches or something like that. When Violet comes home, she literally goes shopping in my closet. And it's kind of nice because then I'm like, well, if something went out, something can go in. Oh. Are you trying to, do you want to suck on your mat but you can't? Patrick's gonna be so mad. Momo was going to town on his foot. I usually watch him really well and I wasn't paying attention. I was stitching. Tree is so cute. How many leaves do we have? So here's the placement line right here. Then we're gonna do the leaves. They come in like little groupings. And then we're gonna trim as desired. These are gonna be raw edge. We're 13 minutes into our 32-minute stitch out. That part's probably gonna take the longest. We're gonna be adding leaves in all different colors. Oh, we get to skip some steps if you're gonna be using a button. So all of these steps here. So if you plan to attach the apple button to this block, skip this step. So I'm going to be skipping all of these steps. That's going to save some time because I'm going to be using the buttons from the kit. Let's see what's in here. We've got an apple button. Apple. How many apple buttons? I only have one. Are there more than that? If you plan to attach the apple button. Here's the apple button, but I only have one. Should I have more? So it looks like you only have one apple button. Am I reading this right? So you have the one apple button. So you're going to have to do apple button, apple button, apple button, and apple button. So I think you have to stitch out 3 of the 4. Does that sound right? Is that right, Miss Tina? Miss Tina's done. You know, it makes me so angry. That's one of the other things. I didn't have many Coach bags. I had like a black Coach saddle bag, and then I also had like a Dooney. Was it Dooney and Burke? Is that right? Burke. I had one of their bags, and I had another Coach bag, and I was like, I'm never going to use these. Goodwill. Little did I know they'd come back into fashion. Oh, Cindy, I thought you'd had them a while. You just got them. Yeah, I got rid of all of that stuff. You know what I told Violet? My mother-in-law offered me a collection of turquoise jewelry, and it was probably when Patrick and I first got married, and we lived on the East Coast, and you know, it was were we on the East Coast then, or were we were in Vegas? And I didn't like turquoise then, and I was like, no, thank you. Not my thing. Yeah, and I love turquoise now, and it really like breaks my heart when I think about the turquoise she had, because I'm sure it was amazing. I didn't even look at it. I'm sure it was absolutely amazing stuff, because it was handed down from Patrick's grandmother, and she had done like trips out to like the West. She done trips out to the West, and collected all sorts of jewelry. So I know it was like beautiful, vintage, gorgeous stuff. So I told Violet, I go, even if you don't like it, take it, because your tastes may change. I feel like my tastes continue to change. I didn't like gold for a while. I love gold now. I said no to the turquoise. Falling for autumn. We have, I just ordered some more the embroidery designs and embellishment kits. But I think we have the fabric kits at the store. However, I think there were only a couple there. We cut like 8 at a time. Oh, Renata, I'm sure that turquoise was beautiful. I have like a really pretty, like little necklace. Are they squash blossoms? So I have that I bought myself. So I have a couple of pieces. She had one bracelet, and she gave it to me. And I have some turquoise rings and things like that. Okay, we are almost done with this. We're 18 minutes into our 32-minute stitch out. This is the last thing that I'm going to stitch out with you today. And then we'll plan on getting together on Monday. Maybe I'll do something this week, but probably not. I'll probably finish this off on Monday. We'll do at least 3 of the blocks on Monday. It'd be nice to finish this quickly, though. And of course, sapphires and diamonds. Good to see you from the UK. What are you? It's late there. It's 8 hours. Wait, 8 hours ahead of us, I think, right? So is it 10 o'clock there? We'll put you to bed. This will be your bedtime story. It's called Kimberbell Automakers. All right, put in your clover thread. We're going to do our placement line first. Yeah, growing up on the East Coast, I hadn't really seen a real cowboy until I moved out west. Like, I feel like in Reno, there's lots of people, like ranchers, and we don't have stuff like that in Connecticut. Being out here, I just love all of that. I love it. I love it all. Okay, because I don't want to have to lay down the whole piece. I'm just going to cut some little pieces right now, and I'll lay those down for my leaves. And then we won't have to use this all up. Even these are huge, aren't they? I think if I lived on the East Coast and I saw a show like Yellowstone, I'd be like, that's so cool. I don't think I'd even had like an avocado growing up. Okay, I'm just going to lay these down. I'm not even going to spray them. I'm just going to kind of lay them down on the placement lines. And then when they go to stitch, I'll put my little holder downer on them. Maybe I should spray them. You see how they're just flying up? It's okay to pivot. How many leaves are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Five, 6, 7. You know what was really in style? Benetton, like I saw somebody sell one of those Benetton shirts. I don't know if you guys remember Benetton, but they sold one of those Benetton shirts for like, I saw it on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money. Maybe like $300. Like the one that was just like a polo shirt and it said Benetton across the chest. I was like, I had one of those. And I just gave it to Goodwill. Okay, here we go. Slide her on. Beeswax, soap, whatever you need. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to get my holder downer too, just to make sure nothing moves. We're doing the tack down and then we're going to trim the felt as desired. I love real cowboys. I love the big belt buckles. I love the cowboy hats. I love the cowboy boots. Yeah, Montana. The first, I drove cross country with my girlfriend and her boyfriend. When did we do that? I think it was 1994. And we went to Cody, Wyoming. And I'd never been to like a city like that or a town like that. I rode a horse there for the first time. And that's where I realized I'm really allergic to horses. Oh, he's a little close, but that's okay. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading your comments. Yeah, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Oops, that one was a little close too. I'm going to get my curved, they're angled straight. I think that's what they're called. Angled straight scissors. And I'm going to pull this hoop off. I'm going to put it in my lap and I'm going to twirl it around and trim these. Here we go. It's looking cute. And I like it when they're not perfect. As long as they don't look like poo-poo, then if it's not perfect, then it looks more handmade, right? So I'm okay with the one where it cut really close. I'll just cut close to that, where it's stitched close to the seam line. That was me. All right. There are my little leaves. Not looking for them to be perfect. They look great. Here's all my little wastes. Throw that away. And, oh, you get to see my knees. I'm sitting here on my, this is my ottoman. This is what I stitch from. And Poppy comes and sits with me sometimes. I used to sit on a little bench, or a little stool. I had a little stool that I sat on, and then, Poppy always tried to climb on there with me, and there wasn't enough for her chunky bottom and me. So I got a bigger ottoman. And every once in a while, both dogs will try to sit up here with me. So now we're going to stitch out in timber. We're going to do the stem detail. So put your timber back in. Are there set days for my lives? I usually try to live feed on Mondays. And I've been alternating my live feeds. So I've been doing morning, and I'll start at 10 o'clock. If I'm at the store, we'll start our classes at 10:30 because of the live feed. But when I'm home, I try to start at 10 o'clock. So Mondays, 10 o'clock, and then next week, we'll start at 7 o'clock. Because what I realize is there's a lot of people that don't watch the lives on Mondays because they work, which makes sense. And so if I start later, there's people that can attend. So we've been switching on and off. All right, here we go. And I tried to put it on the calendar. I was thinking about this one and how it wasn't on the calendar. And I thought, should I create a group and email everyone? But that takes so long. So I was like, okay, hopefully they'll just show up. And if you don't show up, you'll have the recording. All right, we're going to stitch the tree leaves, aphil, and the falling leaves, and we're going to do that in burnt orange. But I stitch out pretty much almost all of the Kimberbell projects. And so usually a week, usually about 2 weeks after it's released, just so we hope that most people can get their kits. And if you haven't gotten your kits yet, we're going to be shipping out tomorrow. But I'll end up stitching out the project. And whatever I don't do live, I'll record. I'll record and post. I did have a few people reach out to me. This is going to be 4 minutes of stitching. I had a few people reach out about Red, White, and Bloom. And that was before they were looking for the recording of that. And that was before I started recording. We started recording post-pandemic or during the pandemic. Oh, Renata, I love that too. Oh, don't say that, Mita. I don't want to do the purge. That's my problem. That's why I have an island. Because I go, hey, I can't throw this away. This was big enough for my leaves. Okay, save it in a special spot. Did I say 4 a.m.? Yes, 4 p.m. So next week we'll get together to finish this, and we'll do it at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I'm West Coast. Was Wild Plum under my machine? You mean, did I drop it? Maybe. I better look on the floor. Oh, this is Iris. On my bench, on my ottoman. Okay, after we stitch this, you're going to put in Wild Plum. For me, it's going to be Iris. And we're going to be stitching Tree Leaves B and Falling Leaf 3 fills and Falling Leaf 2 stem detail. Then back to, so this will be Wild Plum, Burnt Orange, Sandcastle. So you got to decide which apple you want. And then stitch the, maybe I'll stitch all of them and I'll put the apple over the one that I feel like putting it over. Is this so sweet? Like, look at, this one is so sweet. So we'll release those later. After I trim, I'll go ahead. What I've been using lately is I've been using this foam brush. And I just dip it in water and I just do this on it. I'm gonna sip my coffee. I like drinking coffee all day. Hi, Peanut. Hi. You gonna come up here? Okay. Come on. Oh, your foot looks bad. Oh, you want to come over here? You want to come over here? Or is your thing stuck? Come on. Oh, Momo. Oh, God. Here's Momo and his cone of shame. Those are all Poppy's bites, where she yanks it and pulls it off of him. Poor Momo. Look at his owie on his foot. That's what I'm trying to, like, keep him from chewing on. Poor Momo. Poor Momo's been running into everything. Oh, you do? You like the embroidery better? Okay, I'm going to embroider them. I get one coffee. So my barista delivers my coffee to me in the morning. And that is the coffee that I drink all day. So I'm not a coffee fiend, but I just like sipping on it all day. Okay, I'm going to go for the buttons. I mean, without the buttons. Everyone seems to like the embroidery better. And he's a big, chunky button. Like, look how thick he is. So we'll just go embroidery. Oh, look at that squirrel. And I love anything that has quilting on it. So cute. Absolutely, Mita. Were you trying to resist? Were you like, I'm not going to do it. I don't need it. It's not that cute. And then you watched it. You're like, oh, yeah, it is. Look how cute and the dimension with the leaves. And look at the tree with the mix of like the fabric and then the embroidery. And that sign. It's worth it for that sign with the wood trim or the wood grain. Okay, we're almost done. We've got, oh, that was it. Next color. Go ahead and put in your wild plum. I know, you guys all thought that was my wild plum. I got all excited. I was like, you saw it? Where is it? The iris is nice too. I think the wild plum's a little bit deeper. Maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say maroony, but just darker, a darker tone. This'll do. Okay, this is your falling leaf. Wow, there's a lot of this too. So you can look at your screen. I thought it was just going to be 1 or 2 leaves, but they're all of these. So just let it go. No, you know, it's not chicken because he eats chicken all the time. But this is like the second time it's happened to him. He'll get a little yeast in between his toes. And we just weren't on top of it as quick as we should have been. Like, we saw him, like, chewing on his toes and his forearms. And so we have, like, a antibacterial, like, shampoo that we'll use on him. But he'd already kind of gone to town in between those toes. So now we're just trying to, dealing with the aftermath of that. I don't know what happens. Patrick and I get lazy. We weren't like wiping his feet off enough. He is my sensitive boy. He's got sensitive feet. We used to go hiking with our, we could take our husky and our short hair. We could take them everywhere. So we would take them everywhere hiking in Tahoe. We cannot do that with our Aussies. The pads on their feet are so sensitive. And our husky used to go backcountry skiing with Patrick. And Patrick tried to take these guys and, yeah, they're the pads on their feet. They're just really sensitive. We got to get them booties. Booties! Oatmeal bath. Should we do that? Oh, this pillow is so cute. And Wait till you see One Amazing Autumn. I think that one's going to be so much fun too. Ooh, I should get that. I should get him some probiotics. Do you have a particular one that you get, Trish? Yeah, that could be it. I should give him some yogurt. They love yogurt. Okay, do you see that? I swear this is moving. And did I not tighten this? That is like every once in a while, I'll forget. So this was wiggling around. If you do you see this? This should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. I wonder if I hand tighten it and then I forgot to get a screwdriver. But what'll happen, the looser it'll get, this will move around. Your needle's going to hit the foot. It's going to cause all sorts of issues. So I was looking at it and I was like, that looks like it's moving, which is really rare for me because I almost always tighten it with my screwdriver and I must have just forgotten. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. Make sure you do more than just hand tighten it. Make sure you use your screwdriver. This is the advanced screwdriver. It's CNADS 2 on our website. CNADS 2. And the one they sell now, it's black. They don't sell the green one anymore. Half a Benadryl. One, two, 1, 2, and 1, 2. I think we have, after this, 2 more leaves. 2 more leaves, and then you're going to get your burnt orange again. Fortiflora probiotic. Okay, I'm going to look that up. Fortiflora probiotic. Did your dog get yeasty feet? Those people that gave their dog probiotic? My poor little Momo, he's so sensitive. It happened after we took them up to Boca. There's a reservoir over near Tahoe that we took them to go swimming, and when we took them, there was no shoreline. The reservoir was so full, so there was kind of like a swampy little like side water section that we took them to. It was like a little was like filled with like pollen and stuff, but we're like, we got to take him in the water. And then after that, we just brought him home, and I didn't dry off his feet, and that's how it starts. Like, his feet get wet. We didn't dry him off, and it was a little swampy over there. Okay, go ahead and stitch this out. This is a fast one. Just a little detail there. And then we're going to put in color E. What is color E? Sandcastle. We're going to put Sandcastle in, and we're going to stitch the hanging apple stem detail. And then if you plan to skip this step, we're not going to skip it. We're going to stitch the fallen apple stem detail here too. So go ahead and put Sandcastle in. It's a whole new world with these guys. What I realized is that our Husky was just super hardy. Here we go. So you're going to use this for the next 2 stitch outs, next 2 steps right here. And then once it asks you for the next color change, you're going to leave in your sandcastle and do the next step, step 16. And then we're going to go to step 17. You know what they changed? Okay, so they used to have in their instructions, it would be the step for the whole project, and then down on the bottom, they would have your stitch out steps. But I'm not seeing that down here on the bottom. I'm just seeing these steps on the top. Okay. Okay, just hit start again. Yeah, maybe that made it confusing and they got rid of it. Okay, we're gonna put in your clover. I didn't even notice. I didn't notice. I didn't miss it, so I think that could have been confusing for people. Maybe. Because you're like, what step am I on? Well, are you asking about the step for the whole project, or are you asking just the embroidery? So, now there's just one step. They're not giving you... Oh no. Yeah, they're not doing it. This is Let Me Call You Tweetheart. Okay? So, and here, that's a cute one. See how they give you the steps of the project, and down below they had the embroidery steps. So looks like they got rid of that, and now we just have the steps for the project, and then they just show you the color down below. Seems fine. I haven't missed it. I wonder if that's how home sewn was. And I'm so not observant that I'm just noticing it. I did finish my home sewn September. So cute. All right, so that was clover. Now you're going to do clover again. It's going to do like a little leaf right here. And then you're going to put in your aloe. Now I'm curious. I'm going to look at home sewn and see if I didn't even know. I just didn't notice it. I don't even know where my directions are. They're gone. Okay, don't know where they are. We'll just be left to wonder. Okay, taking this out, my clover. We are now on the top portion. Oops! Got a jumper. They've started to condense their instruction steps. Not my favorite of their moves. That's one I didn't even notice, though. So I'm going, didn't need it. I know what I didn't like was how they had taken out the page, that page that I was referring to with the cuts, how they took that out for home sewn, but now it's back again. So they're really good at listening, I think. If you tell me you don't like something, like that one was important, where they took out the cuts and all of that stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on. Thread came out. So I was happy to see that they put that back. Okay, I think there's 3 little leaves here. Oh, so should I get a probiotic from the vet? Round. Have fun at the vet, Cindy. Oh my goodness. I mean, look how sweet that is. The stitching in the leaves. I just had to point that out. Like the burnt orange on the, that should be wild plum leaf, is just so cute. All right, now we're going to put in, oh, we're going to leave the aloe in for the next step. Yeah. So just hit start again. And then we're going to put in candy apple red for steps 21 and 22. This is my first time using my candy apple. I was like, oh, it still has a wrapper on it. I don't think I had it when I needed it for the last project. And I was like, I got to remember to bring that home. So don't bother like cutting the, you know, it has, oh, this one doesn't. Just lift them straight off. Just lift it straight off. Okay, candy apple red. My favorite red of Kimberbell's or Glide is Wildflower. But this candy apple's pretty nice too. To me, Wildflower is just like red. Okay, it's stitching out 3 apples. And then it'll stitch out that 4th apple in step 22. And then we are done. All right, let's see. Did they cut? I found it. Oh, they still had it here. They still have like the top step and the bottom step. So the steps of the entire project, meaning like placement and then the taping and all of that. And then down here was just the embroidery. So I think they're just putting in the embroidery color. Kind of like it with the numbers too, just in case you get lost. What I do love about this is Automakers, they brought back this page, which I think this page is so important. And then they had the full cut, because they didn't for the other one. I think if it was like this, they wouldn't have put in there, because I think for the cut list, what did it say? If it was less than 3 cuts, they didn't put it in. I did not understand that. So happy that they brought that back. I'm going to have them just go pick up a probiotic at PetSmart. Maybe we'll just start with that too. Poor Momo's been wearing that, he's been wearing his cone of shame for a week now. Twice a week. I've never done raw egg. So what's the benefit of raw egg? We do their kibble with, we have a topper that we put in. Like a farmer's dog kind of thing, but a local place here in town. Okay, those apples look cute. All right, let's go ahead and leave that candy apple in. It's going to do that one last apple unless you want to use your button. Sounds like we're not threaded. I could hear that. Okay, let me rethread. There's like some outline and some undersewing. So I'm just going to start it right where it is. I don't think I'm missing out on anything. Yeah, have something for each season. They have, is it 2 things this season? So they have One Amazing Autumn and Automakers. Happiness Grows, Karen Bowl is going to be stitching that one out. And Karen Bowl is also going to be stitching out the insert. So if you're going to do the jelly bag and then the insert to the bag, I looked at that and I was like, I don't want to stitch that. It's super cute. I don't think I would use a jelly bag without it. And I was like, I don't know if I want to stitch that. And Karen just came in. She's like, I can't wait to do that. I was like, perfect. You're the yin to my yang. Because I was not like thinking I wanted to do that one. I didn't want to stitch it out, that is. All right. How cute is that? Look at the detail. It's just adorable. With the little felt leaves. And here we are with this. And this will be fringed. So, do you want me to unfringe it right now? I'm going to get a little bowl of water. And we'll unfringe it right now. Hang on. Because I wasn't prepared. Today's my day of being unprepared and just doing things on the fly. I'm just going to get some water. My little handy dandy bowl right here. Oh, Momo. Oh, God. It's all pink again. Let me get my foamy brush. All right. So I'm going to take this. Let me flip it to the back. And I like to use my precision tip tweezers to kind of release it. Right here is where the, just these two fringe tops. So I'm just going to put this in my... Or you can spritz it. Let me get my tweezers. I like these, the precision tip. I actually think I've lost my other ones. These are my Tulip Pinks. Aren't they beautiful? Tulip Pink, you just feel so gorgeous when you use her stuff. And from the front side, you are going to just put your tweezers in here. And I just like to rock it forward, just like that. Please release me. Okay, here we go. Don't be rough. You don't want to break these. If you do, if you like pull it and break it because you want that fringe to remain intact. Oh, it's so cute. I usually will give it a little haircut because there are times where I'm like, I am the boss. Get out here, fringe. And then I rip it out. That's it. This one got caught underneath that other side. Is that adorable? So cute. That's why you want to use that that water-soluble thread. Water-soluble thread, get the back wet a little bit, and then I like the precision tip tweezers, and I just put it in, and then we'll rock it forward to kind of pull it out. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be back at the store tomorrow with our live feed. I'm going to try and remember every time. If you like what you see, definitely hit the like button and subscribe. And for those of you who don't know, I will be here next Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be working on this. If I can fit in another block, I will. Otherwise, I'll get together with you at 4 and we'll see how many we can get done. I think we could probably get 3 of them done. We have 5 to do, right? And then maybe we'll do 2 for homework. All right. I will see you later. Bye, guys.